So I'm just going to have a quick look to see if I'm actually if my if this is live or what. Looks like we are not live. It says there I'm live, so uh, we have to see. Uh, what's showing up here? Look, apologies to anyone that's been getting those notifications off me the last day or two. I really do apologize. Just trying to test out this live thing. If we get it right, it'll make things a lot bit easier around here. You know what I mean? So I can't see any. Just wanted to see if I could see this video on see what's working on my channel. You know what I mean? Uh, so I'll just see if this is. I mean, this. Oh, it looks like it is working. Right, it is working. Sorry about that. All right, happy days. Right, so look at. Yeah. So as made the video last week, yesterday. We wouldn't don't mind if it's a bit rubbish, but I thought it was really bad. So and considering I might be tip me much to most people, but I'm hitting 75 subscribers, so I want to make sure I'm doing it as best I can. You know what I mean, for each one that's there. Okay, so I just want to basically recap what I said last week, but just do it in a better way. By the way, I have Gorilla Promotions on at the moment. Um, it seems to stop, but uh, it'll come back on. Let's say, yeah. Gorilla Promotions. It's Down Till's promotion, by the way. So obviously BKFC connection there. So I like to keep an eye on it. You know what I mean? They're doing a mixture of boxing, 4 ounce gloves, and bare knuckle in this event. So pretty interesting. It's a small promotion, but it seems to get a good crowd. It nearly seems to get a good crowd as the BKB, like, you know what I mean? So credit where credit's due, you know. And I like the rings. Just like the way they do things. I think the BKB is just. I don't like that triangle ring for some reason. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I just like to thank anyone that's watching this. You know what I mean? Really appreciate it. So like I said, I tried to do very first live stream yesterday. I was made videos before that, and they weren't working out for me, and I was taking too long. And I said, "Fuck it, let's see if this channel is capable of doing live streams on this channel." So, thankfully we are. So, happy days. Um, so that's good. So like to say with the BKFC Liberty Broad card, I got robbed on that one. And I'm not even talking about the bets. I'm actually talking about the fact that I had to buy fucking pay for a subscription to the Zone in order to watch that. Now I didn't mind doing that because I know you always get value for your money with the BKFC, but I think the BKFC needs to consider maybe putting in an extra option on the subscriptions in terms of like maybe they should let people pay a bit extra for the Zone and just have it all in one place, which is would be a lot better. When it comes to watching the UFC, I tried watching set myself up to watch the UFC tonight, and I'm telling you, so BKC is doing a lot of things right in terms of that, because I'm in Ireland, I'm able to watch the fights in America and in Europe and all that, and no issues at all. It's only when it's on the Zone. So if we could get the two of them married up in the one app, it'd be very beneficial. You know what I mean? So, and obviously that pay a bit extra, fair enough. But then just let people know if you want to pay, it's €50 a month dollars at the moment. If to add an extra $50 for the Zone, that'd be all right. So be $190 maybe for subscription, but you get to the Zone included in that. So unfortunately, my bets did not go exactly as planned for the Liberty Brawl. When when I was picking the winners, I actually had about between 80 and 90% of the winners originally, and I completely sold myself out to the better odds. Instead of sticking with the fighters I genuinely believed in would win, I started chasing value. All right, so that's my own fault, greed. You know what I mean? So sometimes your head says one thing and then your wallet says another. So I have to keep that in mind maybe for this Naples card that comes up. You know what I mean? Ben Bonner and Lex Ludlow saved the day for me, kept me in the green. And Lex Ludlow, awesome promo at the end of his fight. Now we kind of knew he was going to win that one. They actually bet pretty much the house on him, so he was fucking, dead set. Ben Bonner wasn't dead set, so good, cashed in well on him. But Austin Trout coming out through that Rocky Four style walkout wasn't probably a good omen for him, believe it or not. You know what I mean? Creed dies in that movie, so and he has a samba band as well. I don't like samba bands, so yeah. And then the two women, I thought two women's fight was very good. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Sarah Shell should have done the biz. Sarah Shell should have done a bit better, but then obviously it takes a lot to beat a champion. These champions are there for a reason, So I listened to Lorenzo Hunt there. He's doing an interview there a few minutes ago, and he's just saying that if you want to beat the champ, you have to beat them really emphatically, like, you know what I mean, for the judges to score you in favor. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see them two out again, which yeah, and I noticed there with Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez seemed to have a lot of seems to be producing an awful lot of good BKFC fighters at the minute. Obviously, all based in Philadelphia, but you have to give him credit. He had a lot of fighters on that card, so fair play to him. Obviously, I'm watching this Guerrilla Fight Promotions here at the moment. It's something to keep an eye on. You know what I mean? Guerrilla Promotions, I'm telling you, they're off the chart. Apparently, they've booked out all their shows have been booked out between now and December. Now, I don't know how many shows they have, but they seem to be doing shows pretty regular, like, you know what I mean? So, just like to say, if you can just remember, there's an Irish fighter called Johnny Jawbreaker. He fought on the Newcastle card earlier on in the year, and he fought Dex Spellman. He's in a fight this weekend, just in the boxing fight in Dublin. So be able to see how he gets on there with that, and be able to see if he's ever even back in the BKFC. You know what I mean? So because he took a fight on 24-hour notice. You know what I mean? Now he got a fight against Dex Spellman, which is Dex Spellman is fucking he's AKB now, but he was like a serious fighter, so it was a big challenge for Johnny Jawbreaker to take on that. So so we're looking fair play. Dax Spellman seems to be doing big stuff over the BKB. Fair play to him. The BKB doesn't seem. That's what I meant to say earlier about BKB. BKB is the triangular ring. I don't particularly like that, believe it or not. You know what I mean? But it's be interesting to see if when there's BKFC fighters move over there, to see how they get on. And obviously be interesting to see BKFC might take fighters from there as well. Like, you know what I mean? So, and then what's called Jade Mason won. She's over there now, which is a bit of a shame for the BKFC. Obviously, the BKFC need to start putting on more fights for more of the fighters. You know what I mean? Because there's too many waiting around on fights. You know what I mean? And in case if they're not wanted, they need to be told to move on. And I think there's some fighters waiting a year, maybe a year and a half for a fight, and that's not really good enough. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? So yeah, one thing with the BKB is it doesn't seem to have it doesn't attract the same amount of crowd as the BKFC, and like even Guerrilla Promotions, it attracts a good crowd as the BKB. You know what I mean? Which is very surprising. Darren Till's obviously a headlight is the face of it, which helps. Same with Conor McGregor with the BKFC. You know what I mean? So things like that does help. Now let's talk about the boss man himself. He's fighting tonight, and like I was saying earlier, we're trying to get UFC on. Like, fairness to BKFC, it is easy to see the fights with the rap. But if you're living in Ireland, if you're living in Ireland and you're trying to see the UFC, it's fucking a disaster. You know that. So I thought I'd get it on. If we got signed up to UFC app, I would be able to watch it there. Apparently not. You have to get you have to buy subscription with Sky Sports, and that's another job. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I might just do one of those fight companions. Find one of them on YouTube. I don't mind paying for it, but it's just the fact I'm really just paying for one fight. One fight, McGregor. Want to see how that goes. Paddy Pimlet, like see how he does, but I might just do a fight companion. You know what I mean? So uh, so that's that. Yeah. So like what I was gonna say. Yeah, I actually put money on McGregor. So that's my money. That's my money spent for the UFC. Being honest with you, okay, I'm not spending any more on it. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. How it goes for him. He does look a bit older. Let's be fair. You know what I mean? And obviously he is older. Like you know what I mean. So time catches up with everyone. But we still didn't see this, it's just ain't that old Conor in there. I think a lot of people want to relive that nostalgia of 2015, 16, and so on like that. Um, and we all want to see if he can. Like I heard someone say earlier on that combat sports probably needs McGregor as much as McGregor needs them. You know what I mean? It's always more interesting when he's there. So some people say it's going to be a wrestling match. You know what I mean? Some people say, well, look at Max Holloway is a serious opponent. You know what I mean? And it's just going to show like things work out for a reason. You know what I mean? If he had been fighting Chandler, it wouldn't have been as interesting a fight. The fact he's up against Max Holloway makes it more of a challenge and makes it more interesting. You know what I mean? So it'd be brilliant for the BKFC if McGregor won because you could end up. Imagine if he won and a big fucking. He'd be getting a lot of views or a lot of people following him and all that kind of thing. There'd be a big buzz around him. If he went over to the Italian card next week, it'd be fucking serious bit of promotion for the BKFC. You know what I mean? And on that particular card, it's Danny Christie. I'm looking to, hoping to do well in that one. Now that's the guy that I'm looking for. Now, you know, I think anytime he's lost, he's always seemed to lose against an up and coming champion like Rico Franco and Conor Tierney. So he's been beaten by the best. Okay, so it'd be nice to see if we get a chance to maybe do a quick run again before he hangs up the gloves, you know. Um, let me see. Made a few notes here. Yeah, like the thing about McGregor, a lot of people over here are they afraid to say like McGregor because he's very confident, and that's not common over here. Thanks, Bo. Big Mac. Yeah, exactly. He was plugging the BKFC in fairness to him, like you know what I mean. So which is good. And obviously, if McGregor's fighting in Vegas, it's going to be you know that's always going to help in terms of getting the BKFC into Vegas. You know what I mean? So yeah. Um, One thing about Conor McGregor over here in Ireland, the government fucking hate him because he talks. A lot of alternative media over here. He shares their stuff a lot. They don't like that because he's got such a big profile. There's a lot of issues going on over here in terms of there's a lot of open borders here, and there's not an awful lot of bad dudes coming in into the country at the moment, and it's causing a lot of serious issues in terms of violence on the streets and stuff like that. And nobody talks about it, only McGregor. So, like, that's important. We need someone with a big profile that can supersede the government and talk about whatever issues that's going on because they're not talking about them. Completely not. They're gone reckless now at this stage. You know what I mean? There was actually a girl in Killarney murdered by an asylum seeker that she was dating actually, and they covered the whole thing up. Well, they didn't cover it up. They mentioned that the girl was murdered and so on like that, but they didn't say it was a migrant that murdered her. You know what I mean? Just a man. Which is typical enough. It's the way they do it. But yeah, trying to watch UFC, bit of a disaster. But we do think we do the fight companion. I like this guy there, Fight Society. Might watch his, I'd say. So yeah, so like just to mention about McGregor, over the years he's always been very outspoken on political issues and social issues in Ireland. My supporters appreciate that he's willing to speak his mind while others simply strongly disagree with him. So, look, if McGregor wins this weekend, an awful lot of people in Ireland is going to melt, especially a lot of NGOs and a lot of government people are going to really, they're not going to be too happy. So, it's, that alone is what it wants me to make McGregor to win. So, BKFC Naples. Now, I don't know if you've seen the stadium from BKFC Naples, but it is absolutely awesome. It's like something out of the Coliseum, you know what I mean? So, one of these cards I need to go to someday. I'm going to go to the Newcastle card, and it's apparently it's going to be one of the best cards for the BKFC. So, let's just see if that's the case. Assuming Darren Till's going to be fighting there, you know what I mean? Who's going to be fighting? That's another thing. Okay, can we get someone that's as high a profile as Darren Till, or should he obviously would be better if he could fight someone within the BKFC that's high up in the ranks, you know what I mean, and not be just taking people in all the time, you know, from other promotions. Let the fighters that already exist there to kind of grow within the promotion. So I obviously hope to go to the Manchester card, so I hope to document that, maybe do a bit of a vlog or something like that, try something different, and maybe get in touch with the fighters before I go, something like that. So yeah, upcoming card, Naples, Italy, this Manchester, Australia, Hollywood. So look, there's plenty of stuff coming up. I just wanted to try out this live stream, see how it's going. All right. Maybe next time. I think I said a lot of this in my last videos and stuff like that. But just want to do it again just to see if it came out a bit better. All right. Look, thanks for watching. Thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Appreciate it. Bare knuckle casual out.